As class ends, I simply rest my head on my hand to stare out the window to pass the time. It's been a few days since Lily told me her plans. I haven't been out to our ordinary lunchtime haunt since then. Not that there would be such much point. Naoko's been busy with her newspaper club she's newly joined and has even begun talking in class with Naomi every now and then. Even Lily, aside from the fact that a meeting between us would have been awkward in any case, has been off her feet with class representative duties as the summer holidays approach. And now they're just about here. With the end of today's bell, the summer holidays will have begun. I suppose that's all I end up doing will be visiting my parents for the duration and lazing about my old home, now that my previous plans are entirely askew. Meanwhile, Akira and Lily will be en route to Scotland to live out the rest of their lives there. No matter how hard I try to rationalize the idea that once the summer holidays begin, my life will return the way it was, it simply refuses to happen. Everyone moving on with their lives, Lily rejoining to her family, Akira moving up in her father's business, Naoko gaining new friends and hobbies, and even Yuko's moving ahead with her university aspirations. Even I'm moving forward in the end, with the marks I've gotten so far in Yamaku, much less after such a rocky beginning. The path to getting into teaching science as a career seems straightforward. I suppose I should at least be happy about that, but it doesn't really seem to help. Hey Chan! I quickly stopped my ruminating and turned my face to the lovely voice beside me, putting the most upbeat expression I can muster. As expected, Shizune stands flanking her. I have a sneaking suspicion they want something from me. Hey Misha, Shizune, what's up? Well, Chichan and I were thinking, since we're just two poor little girls that need help with all the work we've been given before the holidays begin, sure I can help. But Chichan, we really need... What? I think it broke Misha. Even Shizune raised an eyebrow at her accomplice, shuddering, stopped in her tracks. So you'll help us, Chan? I just said I would, didn't I? It's hardly like I have anything better to do. Maybe helping them with work will help take my mind off the situation. Misha seems genuinely ecstatic with my response, but Shizune's expression is clouded and difficult to read. I find myself quickly averting my eyes from her own, as its own looks like a face of pity. No doubt, it must be my imagination. It's hardly the first time I've been in the student council room. Indeed, I found myself down here often, either to help Lily with classroom work or to sort out one thing or another with the student council itself. Now though, it's quite a different place. Papers and folders are strewn across every table in the room. Only a solitary little black laptop atop a single desk sticking out from the mess. It looks positively ancient, and I guess it's been valiantly serving its task in archiving information for years and years. So, what needs doing? This looks like a lot of work to do. Shizune's expression becomes determined as she signs. It's all worrying look. Everything, Chad. My worry is well placed. Everything, you say. What's left on the desk is what needs to be done. It all needs to be digitally recorded which is what the laptop is for. I'm guessing that I'll be the one doing this. Chitan said she saw you with the computers in the library a few days ago, and that you seem really good with them. Good with computers. I can touch type, I guess, but it still seems like an overestimation of my skill. I was just typing up homework. Wait, it's Shizune is watching me doing that? One must know their allies before they know their enemies, of course. Wow, that's pretty wise. For once, it's not very hard to work out who said that, or who said what. Nonetheless, it doesn't seem worth waiting for. Sitting at a computer doing some typical typing, hardly seemed onerous as far as tasks to help Shizune and Misha go. Besides, it will help take your mind off things. Take my mind off what things? Misha's face go blank. She translates this for Shizune though. The latter's responsive, only glanced away towards the window after briefly signing. Misha's face quickly returns the smile as she translates back. She's confused, I guess, but Misha is hardly to pin down. I was just thinking you may, get your mind off the exams, of course. Either way, we may as well get into it sooner rather than later. I'll go along with you. That's quite the spirit, Chan. And that's the 5th spreadsheet, compiled and saved. Time for the next month's. After a little bit of fussing around, we've all managed to get a bit more organized. Shizune's been gathering up the loose sheets and thankfully sorting them out into a neat pile next to me. Meanwhile, Misha has been handling the manual, which writing work. Her girly pink pen leaving an unmistakably mark on the paper after paper. Once I got myself into the rhythm, this really wasn't so bad. Misha and Shizune will also seem to be in the swing of things, wordlessly communicating as they go with their busyness with fervor. Periodically, you glance at the sheet beside my laptop, apparently a list of student names and matching addresses, as I dutifully enter the data written on it. I don't pay a lot of attention to what I'm typing in until I reach about midway down the page. Hakamichi, class 3-3. Huh. Your family home is in Saitama. My idle curiosity is ended abruptly as 3 light taps can be heard rapping on the door. Misha quickly skips over to check out who's tapping. Shizune's shoulder on the way past to let her companion know what's happening. Ah, you're here. Who is it? With a slight pause, enter Shizune's dad into the file along with all the others. I look up to check who's at the door. Lily? After giving cursory nod to Misha and greeting, she perks her head up in her trademark manner. Is that Sal? She's pretty darn good at working out my voice from the smallest of praises nowadays. Yeah, it's me. Hey. The atmosphere feels slightly awkward as she bows. Neither of us know quite how intimate we should be around each other, given she's leaving in just a matter of hours. This is a fact that thankfully neither the obvious Misha nor the hardworking Shizune pick up on. So, you've got work to do as well. Unfortunately, I wrapped that as soon as I could, but my class held me with the surprise farewell party, and had to get changed. I glanced down at the laptop clock. It's pretty much the end of lunchtime, so I'm guessing we only managed to wrangle the last period off as well. I take it Shizune is here as well? Of course. And I've been here during all the lunchtimes as well. The last comment was not needed. Shizune's baiting Lily into another argument, I can feel. I'm sorry I can't be as hardworking as you, Shizune. I'll endeavor to hire more lackeys to do my work in the future, I assure you. And Lily just took the bait, escalating things further. But aren't you the one always outsourcing work to your classmates? The difference is that they choose to help, unlike your tyrannically grip on your own class. Fuck. Tyranny works. Even if we did things differently, we still got the same results, right? This is a school, not a police state. You have to remind me when you were appointed class monarch, I'm afraid. You have to seize power. It's not good as if it's just handed to you. But I guess you wouldn't really understand that, right? You also have to remind me when monarchs were elected into the positions. Lily positively bristles at this. Shizun's two-hit combo forces her onto defense. Yet for all you vanted power, you cannot get one person to help you without forcing him. But Isao volunteered. He's such a hard worker, he's doing this instead of meaningless socialization, right? Is that so, Isao? This is bad. It really ended up between a hard rock and a hard place. As much as it may pain me to do this, the truth has at least a chance of stopping this argument here now. It's okay, Lily. They didn't harass me to come or anything. Lily gives me a disapproving grimace, silently radiating her strong feelings of just pleasure in general direction. She can be quite scary when she wants to be, though thankfully that isn't often. The Chan, you make that sound like regular occurrence. It isn't? In the end, it doesn't matter so long as everything's getting done at good pace. Let's just make this work over so we can go home. Shizun snorts derisively, and gets back to marking off the sheet in front of her, while Lily sighs and finds her way along the room with her hand following the filing cabinets lined along the wall. This would mark the only time I managed to successfully defuse one of these situations, but the grudging ceasefire built around the mutual fear and respect makes this feel more like a Cold War than any real peace. I can't take all the credit though. Lily's leaving has surely affected Shizun to some extent to make her give up so easily. Moments before getting back to my work, I noticed Lily reaching out to grab something from above the filing cabinet. I almost forgot to help, but her height gives her ample ability to take it down safely. When she sets the strangely shaped device onto the desk beside me, I realize just what it is, sort of, and she takes the old green covering off and sits down. At first glance, it seems like an old metallic blue typewriter, but it doesn't take me long to realize it's far from ordinary. It's far fewer keys than expected, and those it has show no lettering printed on them. Only the shadows cast by the tiny braille dots on them give a hint of the thing's purpose. Blind typewriter. Oh, this? Well, you're not far off. It's normally called a Perkins Brailler. It's basically a typewriter for the blind, yes. It presses braille into the page rather than the text, which is why it has fewer keys. Huh. That's really neat. She gives a lighthearted grin at my curiosity over it. I have to admit that it appeals to my sense of novelty. Without further ado, we each get back to our loaded tasks. The loads clunking of mechanics and Lily's brailler and the tapping on the laptop's old weary keyboard quickly fills the room. It's a nice atmosphere, really. Even everyone knows that what they have to do, and Lily and I get to sit beside each other and exchange the odd word as we work away. Nostalgic. That's what it feels like. It's pleasant, but just slightly strained, with the knowledge that our time altogether is nearing its end. Excuse me, Misha. Probably addressed her. Misha bounces over the filing cabinet she's peering into in spite of Lily's lack of sight. For a moment, I think it's strange, but then realized that's exactly what I do. What's up? We asked Shizun where the attendance records for Class 3-2 are. I think they've been moved. Okie dokie. And with that, she flitters off to Shizun, who's working at a table behind us. Lily's familiarity with the council room and the efficiency with which she worked reminds me that she, Misha, and Shizun used to all work together in student council. Maybe this is a fitting end for her to say Nimaku, working away just like she used to, surrounded by those she loved and at least liked. I look up, getting taken off guard by Shizun sorting through the drawer rather than Misha. Sure enough, she plucks out the manila folder, entirely blank save from just barely visible bumps in front, and holds it in front of Lily. Lily's handles it over to check what it's in her fingers, feeling over the dots with Braille and confirming it's what she asked for. Thank you, Misha. No reply. No reply, that is, saved from an odd grin. No smile on no smile on Shizune's face. Huh. A couple of seconds pass before Lily clicks that it isn't Misha behind her, but Shizune. A momentary look of surprise is replaced by a slightly bashful smile. For a few moments, the room is all but still and silent. Eventually, though, Shizune strides back to her workstation and Lily begins typing once again. It only lasted a handful of seconds in all, but it feels like years of communication were made up for that one silent exchange. There, finished. I lay my head back to rub my eyes and try to work away with their weirdness, staring at the small and rather poor screen that's taken its toll. Excellent timing. The only thing left is to file these away, and I'll have my workload finished well. Good. I can back up the trailer and put it away while you do that. Thank you, Sal. Misha and Shizune, far from being done. I look around for those two and I replace the cover over the trailer only to see them waiting at the door. I guess they must have been waiting for us. With a minute of wasted time, we pack up everything that remains and join them. Thanks for waiting, you two. We can just take off without you, Chan. You have been a great help. Shizune nods approvingly, pleased with my efforts. I guess that's the last class representative work done over with then. That's right. I'll miss you, Lily. I think it was fun working with you. Thank you, Misha. It's been good working with you. And Shizune. Shizune thinks for a moment before formulating a response. It's not that she often communicates without thinking. Quite the opposite, but the time that's even more considered than usual. Misha looks a little surprised before passing on the message. Shizune says, "You better do your work over there better than you did here." Far from taking offense, Lily giggles in her hand. If that's the case, then please tell Shizune to give those still here a little more understanding in the future. Competitive until the last. Maybe Shizune and Lily aren't so different after all. Chan says she'll be checking to make sure you live up to your end of the promise. And that's how it'll be. I better be off then. Goodbye, Shizune. Goodbye, Misha. Sal? Lily takes a hold of my arm in hers, there being no need for a cane if I'm here to guide her. With a nod of farewell, the two we set off at the door and we make our way to the school grounds. As I turn away goodbye to them, I notice Shizune's gaze lingering on Lily. They may annoy each other, but family bonds aren't easily broken. Got all your papers sorted then? Yes, they've all been filled out and handed in. On top of things as always, aren't you? She's given here a smile at the compliment, but it feels as if her happiness is just a veneer over the fact that she's fully aware of how much she's leaving behind. It reminds me of how much she was like when I first met her. Always smiling, always a little bit aloof, always that little distance away from everybody. Even now she still maintains the air around many others, especially those who's not close to. I had hoped that our time together would have changed that fact. Our pace slows, the two of us coming to a halt in the all but empty school gardens. Sal, is something the holy words echo and cut short as I turn and wrap my arms around her, pulling her tight. It may not usually be given this much impulsive action, but I just wanted to be close to her, even if it's the last time I'll be able to do. I'll be able to. All the other students have retreated to their dormitories and homes, only the ruffling of leaves in the breeze making any sound whatsoever. I should draw it back. I can't see what. She has dropped her carefully maintained smile. Her hand hesitates, wanting neither to leave nor to stay on my features. She's putting up a brave show, but her slight tremble gives it away. Lily may be able to control herself well, but even she can't hold her composure together now. This is the woman I've come to love, but also the one who, in all too short a time, will leave the country forever. I'm sorry, Asal. It's okay. You've got your own life to lead, after all. We walk up to the hallway in the girls' dormitory, hand in hand, her emotions by now largely quelled. Nevertheless, our hands grip each other, much more tightly than before. Faint, muffled voices can be heard from Lily's room, the origins of which aren't difficult to guess. That moment she opens the door. Nako bursts through and wraps her hands around Lily, taking her very obviously by surprise. Lily. Hanako? I'm going to miss you, Lily. As expected, she's on the verge of tears. Lily generally rubs... Me too. Lily gently rubs Hanako's hair with her hand in response, then pulls back and gives a more reassuring smile. Looking beyond Hanako, Akira can be seen getting up from the side of Lily's bed and scratching her head. Her eyes turn to Lily and Hanako to me, a stilted, weak smile hanging on her face. I try to return a more genuinely happy look, but the result is probably just the same. So everything's out? Managed to hold back from killing Shizune? The comment draws an amused giggle from her sister. Yes, I have everything in order, and yes, I managed not to. Have you packed everything you needed? Got the 2 bags right here, but there is still some stuff left at the Hakamichi's home. I can pick that up while we wait for tomorrow evening's flight, though. Akira gives the 2 large black traveling bags on the floor a hearty pat. She probably came to help pack and make sure everything was in order on Lily's end before going together with her. Lily, will you be okay over there? I'll be alright, I assure you. I'll have Akira looking after me as well, and you know that she's reliable. But don't worry, Hanako. I have your phone number after all, so we can stay in touch with Akira's help. I can send you things over the internet as well. Hey, don't use me just because you want to learn how to use a computer. Hanako and Lily both giggle briefly, the mood lightening ever so little. That goes for you too, Asao. I promise I'll contact you once I'm in Shaolin. I know. I'll be looking forward to it. Her offer may be kind, but we both know that this is tantamount to breaking up. Neither of us have any illusions as to how well we manage a long-distance relationship. With an nary word of prompting, the 4 of us begin a long, solemn walk to the school gate. The numerous lamps scattered around Yamaku ground fail to do more than provide a pinpoint of light in otherwise dense darkness. A car parked on the road just outside the school grounds comes into view, its shining black exterior reflecting the dimly lit lamps of Yamaku. I call out to Akira in an effort to alleviate a bit of the heavy atmosphere. That your car? What kind is it? Don't know much about cars, do you? It's a Lancer Evo. Solid and speedy. Well, it's not as if a comment on my knowledge is off the mark. I've never really taken an interest in them. She gives a small sigh. She's been good. Pity I have to part with it tomorrow. Just like the summer house. You guys were last visited before it changed hands. Turning back to my rather faulty attempt at small talk, I glanced at Hanako, Lily following behind us. By rights, Hanako should be leading Lily, but it's rather definitely the other way around as she clings slightly to Lily's arm. It's a depressing sight. So, I guess this is it. Indeed. Although the time for everyone to say their farewells, it's now nobody really wants to take the first step. It's as if the longer nobody speaks, the better the chances of them simply not leaving. Lily, do you really have to go? I'm sorry, Hanako. I won't be leaving you forever, though. I can still call you, as Hal will still be here as well. I nod, but Hanako just clutches all the tighter to Lily's arm. After spending so long without anyone to call family, it must be excruciating to have to say goodbye to the one person that was as close to a mother as anyone could have been in her life. Lily lets out a long, sad breath. All here and I really could do is stand by quietly on the sidelines, since the one person that can solve this would be Lily herself. Eventually, Lily pulls her arm from Hanako's grip and holds her both of her shoulders gently, a much more decisive way of addressing than I'd ever seen Lily take with her. Hanako, remember when you first met? When you entered my room for the first time after overhearing my consoling of a friend. You didn't say a single word for the entire night. Even as I poured you tea and talked, you sat silently and simply listened to what I said. It took many quiet meetings like that before you began to open up to me. But as you began to, I felt somewhat of the happiest moments I've ever felt. I didn't become your friend because I pitied you, Hanako. I became your friend because I knew you were hiding not just from me, but from everyone. Your ambitions, personalities, interests, tastes. I didn't know any of them, and neither did anybody else. As you showed yourself to me, though, I began to realize that the person that you were became sure that our meeting was a very special moment. But Lily cuts her words short as you brings her hand on Naoko's head and brushes the fringes to the side, gently passing her lips to Naoko's forehead. As she pulls her head back, leaving Hanako all but speechless and her eyes moist, Lily beams a wide smile. I believe you are a very beautiful person, Hanako, and I am certain that you will become a strong and confident woman. You are a very dear friend, and someone whom I love very much, just like as Hal. I'll never forget you for as long as I live. I may be leaving, but you have your own life to lead, just as I do. You have your own friends and hobbies, and your own hopes after graduation. I want you to devote yourself to them, even after I'm not around anymore. That is why I think you'll be okay, because you and your own self, with your own life, you yourself proved that to me. Nako lowers her head in embarrassment, but nods as she does so. I understand. I know I have to say goodbye, but I know you have to go your own way. But thank you, Lily, for everything. Thank you, Nako. Will you be okay? And a few seconds of silence before the answer comes. I will. Lily smiles, undoubtedly, at least partly in relief. That makes me very happy then. Goodbye. Goodbye, Lily. And farewell to you as well, as goodbye. I'll miss you. She pauses for a moment before walking up to me, her hands outstretched in front of her, takes a hold of my shoulder. Her hand slowly and daintily reaches towards her face, taking my cheek in her palm. For a while she simply holds my face, her fingers just slightly moving to take in its contours. Usually her hand would be warm when doing such things, but the night air had given her skin a cool edge. I'm not sure how long we stayed like this, her clouded eyes pointed just below my own. She wears a wistful, almost dainty, distant smile. Even though I could take her cold hand in mine, it's difficult to do so, but with a silent, slight sigh, I gently remove her hand from my cheek. I hope you have a long and happy life, Lily, no matter where you might go. Thank you. I'll make sure to. She takes a long, trembling breath before turning slightly towards Akira's direction. Akira. Okay. With a nod, she takes Lily's hand and begins to guide her to the car parked outside the gates. They both walk slowly and deliberately as if their movements have been rehearsed in advance. It's strange to feel like this now, watching somebody leave Yumaku. The feelings of unease I have now reminds me of the first time I walked through the black route iron gates. I'd always looked far too pompous for what they were. As leave, all of us know full well that our lives are irreversible, changing. What was that? Oh god, what? Sorry, it's just my computer screen blacked out. Like everything changing so fast, so suddenly. And the end. Lily and Earl plays a part of the lives of both Hanako and I. The noise of Akira opening the passenger door for Lily brings me out of the thought, her hands waving back as Lily gets in. See you guys, take care of yourselves. Goodbye, Hanako. Goodbye, Sal. Hanako, hands quickly shoot up, her face brightened by her enthusiastic farewell. Goodbye, Lily. Goodbye. See you, Akira, and goodbye, Lily. The door shuts as well on her best part, happy farewell faces. Akira getting in the car herself and starting it up on the short measure. Lily's hands can't just be seen waving through the tinted windows, but her hands waving high as well. This is every other time I've done such things. I can't quite work out precisely what Hanako waved to her, given that she'd never seen us doing so, but it doesn't matter. Even after the black shiny car goes down the hill and disappears into the dark night, we carry on waving and seeing Akira and Lily off, and then they're gone. A strange stillness takes over, our hands return to our sides. I don't quite know what I should do or how I should feel. In the end, we just stand there silently staring down at whether the car disappeared from sight. Goodbye, Lily. All I can do now is respond in response to her quiet, mournful goodbye, is to place a hand on her shoulder. She looks at me for a few moments before looking back down the hill, secure in the knowledge that I'm still around for her. What we'll do from now doesn't seem all that uncertain. We all have our own ambitions now, just as Lily does. But even so, it feels like there's a certain missing part in both our lives now, something that can never be replaced.